Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Racing Podblast with me, Tony Mack, and Ben Aiken from Narrow in the Field, and a big warm welcome to all you turkey curry lovers. Okay, hopefully you all survived the Christmas madness over the past few days, and more importantly, I hope plenty of you profited from last week's Podblast episode when we landed winners of all three races we covered, including a 9-1 and 12-1 shot winners. This weekend we are off to Newbury, covering three handicaps from their Saturday card before taking our usual trip up to Scotland for our Football Trixie Battle, a top, middle and bottom, where last week we both almost landed a full house. Story of my season. Racing first though, and off to Newbury we go, starting with the Coral Handicap Hurdle, due off at 1:45, first of our three races under analysis this week. Welcome along, Ben, and I hope you had a lovely Christmas. And can you start us off with the Coral Handicap Hurdle?
I can indeed, Tony. The Coral Handicap Hurdle. I got this handicap down to three potentials: Go to War, Right So Tom, and Mr. Bramley. Go to War, he hit my radar because he appeared on a Nicky Henderson Newbury angle I have plugged in, which is Nicky Henderson 5 and 6 year olds in Newbury handicap hurdles that start at 6-1 or shorter. Since 2018, those stats are 14 winners, 6th place from 32, 44% win strike rate, 63% win and place strike rate, and over 30 points profit. Go to War qualifying on those stats. He was a beaten fave at Huntington last time out, but that was his first run for 262 days, and he should come on for that effort. I also think the step up and trip to 2 mile 4 for the first time will suit him well, so I like the chances of Go to War. Right So Tom, he was a comfortable winner over 2 mile 3 at Doncaster last time out. That was his first try over further than 2 mile 1, and he clearly relished that longer trip. The horse he beat by 7 lengths that day, Samuel Spade. He came out and ran a decent third behind East India Express at Kempton on Boxing Day, so the form looks solid, and I think the extra furlong he tackles here, that shouldn't be an issue. He was highly tried as a juvenile when with Thomas Mullins. He ran 6th in the 2023 Triumph behind Lossiemouth, and then 4th in the Aintree version by Zenta. So he's got a bit of back class on his CV, and he probably has more improvement to come yet off his mark of 131, especially now they've stepped him up to these mid-range trips. That's Right So Tom. Mr. Bramley, he's the other on my shortlist. He's another that won last time out. He won at Wetherby at the end of last month by 6.5 lengths. He only went up £3 for that, which I thought was fairly lenient. He's still unexposed as a hurdler after only 4 previous hurdle starts. Only 2 of them came in handicaps. Also worth noting that his trainer, Jed O'Keefe, he's got some eye-catching recent stats of horses he sends on trips of more than 190 miles to the track, especially those aged 5, 6 or 7, and that start at single-figure SP. Since 2021, with those types, he has 10 winners and 3 places from just 19 qualifiers. A 53% win strike rate, 68% win and play strike rate, over 63 points profit. So a positive on that angle for Mr. Bramley. I can see all 3 of them horses running well, but I'll go with Go to War, who should be more forward for his run last time out, and I think he'll appreciate this step up in trip Go to War. I think Right So Tom might interest me each way as well. Go to War and Right So Tom. Tony, what you got for this handicap hurdle?
Yeah, I'm with you on Go to War, mate. I do like that one, and also Mr. Bramley's on my shortlist as well. And Mr. Hope Street, which I'll be going for. Obviously, I'm agreeing with you, but differing on selections as well. So we'll spread it out a little bit. Mr. Hope Street for the Skeletons. It's 4 from 9 over hurdles, 3 from 6 on good to soft ground. All 4 wins have come with Harry in the saddle, and up to 11 runners in races have all come with just up to 11 runners in them, all 4 career wins. So Mr. Hope Street, for me, there against, well, as I say, I do like Go to War. Mr. Bramley as well, but I'll go for one as an outsider as well. Alistair Ralph's Welsh Charger, 6-year-old. by Westerner, so would love any softness in the ground. Last seen winning at Wetherby on the 1st of November in a handicap hurdle, Class 3 handicap hurdle, beating 5 rivals 4 1/4 lengths there, beating Foster's Island as well at odds of 3-1. Alistair Ralph and Welsh Charger looks interesting at a double figure price at the moment, and my other one is Mr. Hope Street there in that 145 at Newbury. 220, the Mandarin handicap chase, Class 2, over 3 miles, 2 furlongs. What do you fancy in this one, Ben?
Yeah, it looks a decent renewal of the Mandarin. Some interesting types going to post. I narrowed things down to Ho Jolly Smoke, Henry's Friend, Brave Kingdom, and Papa Poutine. Ho Jolly Smoke, he opened his account at the 7th time of asking last time out, while winning a 3 mile handicap at Sandown at the start of this month. He went up £7 for that win, but he's likely still got plenty more to offer over these staying trips. And I think he's still a good bit below his handicap ceiling on 127. Dan and Harry Selton, they've got some solid stats in Newbury handicap chases, especially those coming in off a top 4 finish last time out and that start an SP of 6-1 or less this time. 8 winners in 2 places from 18 qualifiers, 44% win strike rate, over 26 points profit. Whole Jolly Smoke fits those stats and looks a big player in this. Henry's Friend, he ran in the Coral Gold Cup last time out. I think that run was better than his 5th place finish suggested. He made a blunder at a vital stage of the race, and that just got him out of his rhythm. Took him a while to get back on an even keel. Finished the race off well enough, though, and I think these slightly calmer waters will probably suit him better. He won the novice chase on this card last year, so he does go well at the track. I don't think he's quite reached his limit yet on the ratings front. Henry's Friend. At Brave Kingdom, he's another course winner. Won over 3 miles at the track last December before pulling up in the Grade 2 Reynoldstown chase at Ascot on his next run. Not been seen since then, but he goes well off lengthy breaks. He's an unbeaten 3 from 3 off breaks of more than 120 days, so I wouldn't be concerned by that. I think he should appreciate coming back left-handed here. He's 4 from 4 on left-handed tracks compared to 1 from 3 on right-handed tracks. I do just wonder if that's part of the reason he disappointed at Ascot when last seen. I'd be disappointed if 137 was a limit of Brave Kingdom's abilities as well. Papa Poutine, he's the other on my shortlist for a twist in Davies. He won the Silver Buck chase at Wincanton last time out, and the £3 raise for that still leaves him £5 below his highest winning mark. So he's still on a mark he should be up to winning from. He goes well under these conditions. Good to softer trips further than 3 miles. Marks of 125 or less, and not very undulating tracks. Under those conditions, he is 4 wins in a second from 5 starts. Gets those conditions here. I think he's one that could outrun his lofty odds. Papa Poutine. Of those, I think Ho Jolly Smoke is the one I like the most. I think he's still got plenty of upside to him. I like those skeleton stats I mentioned that he fits. I'll also have a dabble on Papa Poutine because he does have his conditions in his favour here, and I think 14-1 or bigger. I think that looks a bit too big to me. So Ho Jolly Smoke and Papa Poutine for me. Tony, what you got for the Mandarin?
Yeah, I do like Papa Poutine here, mate. It's a big price. He's currently 16-1. One firm paying 4 places on the race, but others are 3 places on the race at the minute. Papa Poutine has had his training problems. He missed between March 23 and October this year, coming back at Kempton, not running very well, but he did come back earlier this month to win at Wincanton, beating 5 rivals a neck. And I think that could have him spot on for this. I do like Ho Jolly Smoke as well for the Skeltons. I'm with you on that one, Ben. You've gone through that one very well, and there's nothing else to add. Very impressed with his 4 1/4 length win last time out at Sandown earlier this month in that Class 3 contest off a £7 lower mark. And there's always a little bit niggling horse for me, and I think he's got a bit of class about him. And he won this race last year at around 7-2, beating 10 rivals, 3/4 of a length, beating Atlanta Brave as well, and at Surrey Quest. And I think his last run, his seasonal debut at Cheltenham in November we should have him spot on. He finished second of 10, beaten 2 3/4 lengths behind a Buffalo Soldier. And I think in a really titanic battle as well. And I think Surrey Quest will come on for that run. And I think he can go well. And I think 15-2 is just far too big for a course and distance winner. And a horse with a bit of class, Surrey Quest, at around 15-2. Ho Jolly Smoke, I completely agree with you, Ben. And Popper Patine, very interesting at 16-1 in the Mandarin. On to the 335, at Newbury. Novices Limit Handicap Chase, Class 3 Handicap, over 2 miles, 6.5 furlongs. Ben, your thoughts on the 335?
Yeah, I narrowed this novice handicap chase down to the following 3. The form is Mighty, Menagio and Sea Invasion. The form is Mighty meets the same skeleton stats I mentioned for Ho Jolly Smoke in the previous race. And he comes in off the back of an easy 10-length win at Southall at the start of the month. That was his second chasing start. On chase debut, ran 4th at Chepstow in October in a race that's been working out well enough for the grade, and he looks one that should make into a better chaser than he was a hurdler, which he's already proven to be that. The form is mighty. Menagio also won last time out. In fact, he's won both his chase starts to date, both over 2 mile 4 at Plumpton, and both by wide margins. His trainer, Alan King, he has some solid stats in Newbury novice handicap chases in the November to December period, especially in fields of 11 or less, with his geldings aged 5, 6 or 7. And with those types, he is 7 winners from just 10 runners, returning over 29 points profit. I think Menagio has a decent chance of boosting those stats further, Menagio. And Sea Invasion, he's the third one on my shortlist. He's yet to score on his 2 chase runs to date, but there was promise in his third of 9 at Doncaster last time out. And he was hampered twice in the closing stages of that race, so would likely have finished closer than 15 lengths had he not met that trouble. His final hurdle start last season suggests he's likely on a very workable mark right now on 1:16. That hurdle run came at the Cheltenham April meeting over 2 mile 4.5. He finished third to Doyen Quest that day, at just over half a length behind the skeleton horse. He was only getting £5 from Doyen Quest that day. If they met now, he'd be getting £19. Although it's maybe a bit tentative line to be drawing, but it does suggest, at least loosely, that Sea Invasion is likely better than his current mark of 1:16. Of that 3, Menagio is the one that most catches my eye. Alan King has his horses in decent form just now. Hopefully Menagio can keep that form going here. Might be tempted by Sea Invasion as well, but Menagio, my main one. Tony, what you got for
good stuff?
Handicap.
It's a Alan King warning when Ben puts an Alan King horse up. Just thought I'd mention that.
Good form, Alan King.
Yeah, definitely. Probably the worst named horse, one of the worst named horses I've ever seen. The form is mighty. Dear Lord. For the Skeltons, I do fancy that one. 9-2, very taken with his win at Market Raisin back in March. And when everything else was at the Cheltenham Festival, this one by 15 lengths. He won his maiden hurdle by 15 lengths. That was very taken there. He went on to finish 4th at Ayr at the end of the season. He's come back to finish 4th of 14 at Chepstow on seasonal debut, and then made it into the winners' enclosure earlier this month at Southwell on good to soft ground in his second handicap chase, winning by 10 lengths. And he has been hammered for that, £10, but I do like the form is mighty despite his name, the 7-year-old by Black Sam Bellamy. And Shanna Bob for Nicky Henderson and Nico de Bonville at around 9-2. The son of Marla was last seen finishing possibly, as they say, when you put a horse up that's been absolutely hammered by 14 lengths, possibly needed the run on seasonal debut at Uttoxeter last month, but he did win at December's meeting at Cheltenham 12 months ago, winning the Albert Bartlett Novices Hurdle, the Grade 2 there, and he was rated at around 134 over hurdles, so he could be interesting on his second chase start here at on the 3:35 at Newbury. Obviously, into the waterside or in the waterside, it will be dangerous for the Nichols and Cobden pair at 100 to 30. But Shanna Bob at around 9 to 2 for Nicky Henderson, and the form is mighty for the Skeletons at around 9 to 2 as well. Fantastic stuff. That's the racing, the 3:35 at Newbury, the Novices Limited Handicap Chase. Right now, it's top, middle, and bottom.
The great thing about loving football is you cannot explain why you love it. It just happens. Chasing a ball round a park, wanting one team to win against the other.
El Mahoney, right foot, whips it. Oh, jeez, he peeps, man.
Fabulous. Yes, it's time for round 22, top, middle, and bottom. How did we get on last week, Ben?
2 winners for both of us last weekend. My 2 return plus 2.32, your 2 return plus 1.25. One of your selections were our boys Clyde. They secured 2-0 win against Forfar. With our sponsored player Martin Rennie banging in another goal. Starting to roll now on yourself, big man. I think that's 2 in 2 games, and he's starting to finally hit the back of net. So more from the big man, hopefully, this week, Martin Rennie.
Marvellous.
Current totals for us now sit at me plus 20.26, Tony minus 30.39. On to this week, though, and my top, middle, and bottom is top. Partick Thistle to beat Queen's Park at 8 to 11. Ignoring penalty shootouts, Partick are unbeaten in 11 against Queen's Park. Been really tight at home in the league this season as well. 5 wins and 4 draws. Scoring 14, conceding only 4. I'll take Partick to kick off my top, middle, and bottom. Middle, Queen of the South to beat Annan at 10 to 11. This one picks itself for me. Queen of the South have the joint best home record in the league this season. 6 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat. Annan have the second worst away record in the league. 2 wins and 7 defeats. So Queen of the South to win this Borders derby for me. And bottom, Peterhead to beat Elgin City at 27 to 20. Elgin are having a bit of an injury crisis at the minute. I think the league leaders, Peterhead, will be able to take advantage of that here and pile on the misery. Elgin have been good at home this season, but they do concede plenty of goals at Butterbriggs. So I'm taking Peterhead to take advantage of that and fire in a win to keep them top of the league. Giving me a top, middle, and bottom of top, Partick, middle, Queen of the South, bottom, Peterhead. Tony.
Peterhead. I was looking at that as well, but I've gone for something else. So I'm fully with you there, Peterhead and to beat Elgin. Mine is Livingston away. A couple of an aways today. Livingston away at Wraith Rovers at 27 to 20. Arbroath at home to Montrose at even money, and Stirling Albion away at Forfar at 31 to 20. So Livingston away at Wraith Rovers, 27 to 20. Arbroath home to Montrose at even money and currently. And Stirling Albion away at Forfar at 31 to 20. Hoping my horses that I've put up, and even yours, Ben, as well, of course, that move faster than the old fellow who was running down the street. I've just seen him running down the street with his brown bin because he's missed the bin man, and he's trying to catch the bin men up at the other end of the street. So I hope I hope he does catch them. Many thanks for listening to the latest edition of the Racing Podblast. Very best with your bets at Newbury this weekend. You catch more from Ben over on narrowingthefield.co.uk. That is narrowingthefield.co.uk. Big thanks for listening this week. Have a lovely new year. We'll see you on Friday, next Friday as usual. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you all next week. Cheers, Ben.
Cheers, Tony.